All right, what's up, man? We back with another one. I'm here with my guy, my tattoo artist, Chapo Tats, one of the best
Type
tattoo
shit.
artists in the city, man. He really get
Type
everybody
shit.
right. You can find him on the gram, Chapo at Chapo Tats, if you want to get right, bro. How you doing today?
Doing alright. Shit,
Doing all right.
chilling.
Chilling. How
Same
many
shit.
appointments you had today?
Just you today.
Just
I ain't have too much. I ain't trying to book myself out today. Chilling
yeah,
today.
chilling today for real. That's what's
I'm in the
up, bro.
city.
So you mean, bro, if you want to give like viewers and stuff like a backstory about where you from, I know you're from Harrisburg, you from the capital.
Yes,
So if you want to
sir.
give them a backstory about being from the capital, growing up out there, what was it like? What was it life out there like?
Shit. I don't know. It wasn't too much of nothing for real. For real. I mean, I tatted out there since I was like 16. Try to stay out of trouble. I mean,
Yeah. So what got you into tattooing? Like what was the motivation behind that?
um, my dad had a personal tattoo artist that was basically like coming to the house all the time and tatting him, and I asked him to teach me one day, and we just went from
It just
there.
went from there.
Yeah,
So you always had like a artistic background. It seems
yeah.
like.
I've been drawing since I could like remember, bro.
Yeah. Was you into like graffiti and stuff like tagging? That was
Yeah,
a big thing.
yeah. That was a big thing in my life
Yeah.
for a minute.
So that's like a positive outlet though, cause you feel me like you seem like at peace and shit when you tattooing and shit like that.
Not for
You
sure,
probably at peace drawing and shit like that too.
for
So
sure.
so what is that like? What kind of like safety net is that for you? Like you feel me like being able to tat and shit.
I mean, it saved me from a lot of stuff like I could have possibly did, or you know what I mean, like kept me away from, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like it still was there. It was still
Yeah.
prevalent. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like as uh, like worried about to me because you know what I mean I'm doing my thing over here type shit. So
Yeah, you was really worried about getting to the bag for
yeah,
it's
getting
tatting
to this
everybody.
type
Yeah.
shit.
So what was it like? So explain like in the beginning, cause you feel me like you don't just start in a shop. You don't just start. You feel me a whole bunch of clientele. What was that like in the beginning
In the
of
beginning,
tattooing? Yeah.
it was just me fucking up my like closest friends and shit. Like, you know what I mean, like did a bunch of shitty tattoos until I like got the hang of it and shit, you know, and then from there it was like I kind of jumped into a shop mad early and like got a bunch of advice from my peers and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like people that was around me that wanted to give me information anyway. A lot of people was gatekeepers with this shit. So, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So that kind of did that motivate you though? Like when people like really holding back information, cause I know that shit like that shit probably burning you out, cause you like yo, I'm just trying to learn. Like you holding back some valuable information that can help me in the long run.
Progress, right? Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely like kind of like uh, made me want to grind harder and like do more within it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I definitely put more time into it because I was you know what I mean? I was hungry. Like I wanted to do like my thing with this whole tat thing. You know what I mean?
So that shit was probably frustrating. Like you try and prosper as an artist, and niggas is gatekeeping information from you.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So it was basically like I went around to a bunch of different places trying to get information, and nobody was like I had to basically do like at least 5 people to talk to before I got one person to talk to me. Basically, like
yeah,
that type of ratio.
yeah. So you had to run through like a little bit of a wall right there. Was there any other like low point that you went through like tattooing, like in the beginning? Because I know in the beginning when you start anything, you like you really that's really like the hardest part. Is like the hardest time.
Right. In the beginning, yeah, probably just. You know what I mean, my parents not really fucking with it. You know what I mean, shit like that. It wasn't really too much to it.
Yeah. So what was your thought process then? Like when your parents is like, yo, like maybe this ain't what you should be doing, like, cause that's like as much as you want to downplay, you always want your parents to like support your dreams
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah,
So
goals and shit.
yeah, so what was that like? having them being like, yeah, like maybe this not the best thing for you. Like maybe this what you shouldn't be worried about right now.
Um, I basically, I basically pushed myself into the craft more because like I was like super defiant as a kid, so it was just like, you know what I mean, I'm gonna do this anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So
I try to make something of it,
yeah,
try to prove everybody wrong type
you
shit.
went head first into it. And it was
Right.
like, whatever, fuck it, I don't care what they gotta say.
Say
So
right, right.
yeah, you just went through it. So that's kudos to you for real, because some people don't find that motivation. Like once someone says no, that they really think should be supporting them, they kind of let that define their journey, and they don't really push through that. And that's a
Right.
big part about about being a solo shot entrepreneur is like, finding that motivation within yourself. Like, was there any like external motivation that you had that really was like, yeah, I gotta make this shit work. This shit gotta be important to me.
Kids, for real. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. My kid, my daughter, for real. Like I try to make a way
Yeah,
to where it's like not really a situation where I had to grow up. Like, you know what I mean? She didn't have to
yeah.
live the same type of life that I've lived.
So what was that? Take us back to that day, the day that you found out you was having a daughter, or at least a kid. Like when you found out that she was having a kid, how was that?
Um, Shit, I was surprised. I was 16, so it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting to have no baby, but I was, you know what I mean? I was doing things,
Yeah.
so I mean, it came as a surprise to me at first, but you know what I mean? I just did what I had to do, and I mean, just try to be the best father I could be.
Yeah, that's good, bro. Because a lot of people like being a part of being a man is one day being a father and holding yourself accountable for those things.
Nah, that's a
So
fact.
that's good that you found that motivation within your daughter too. Because I know she probably puts you every day to every time you tattooing someone, you probably think of her and you probably want to be the best version of yourself,
Nah, that's
just
a
to make
fact.
sure you can provide for her and shit. So what's it like now? Like where are you at right now? Where do you think there's a next step, like a next level up from where you're at?
For sure, like there's always growth in this, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like there's always something I could learn. There's always some new things I could do, conventions I could go to, stuff like that. I've been wanting to do clothes and stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
been working on that lately.
Been working on that. So
Yes,
yeah, are you really putting your artistic abilities into the world, which is good because people need that. People need to see that someone else can do it. If they,
might inspire them.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Especially because like we all know how tattoos are looked at. Like when you got tattoos and you really like a person of color, they really like associate that with the wrong thing. So
Nah, that's a fact.
how do you think that affected you? Like you got face tats, you feel me? Like you really tatted up. Like you
I
think
mean,
people looked at you was like, what the fuck? Like
I definitely get the looks, and I mean, like, usually people cross the street and stuff when they see me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I don't like take too much offense to it or nothing though, because like, is that person don't know me like personally, so it's like I don't really care what you think about me or what I look like on the outside.
I mean, what you got? You got any advice for people that do got face that? Cause sometimes that probably hurt some people's feelings because they're like, damn, like this is just my artistic
Like
approach to it.
expression, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, my advice to them would probably be like, don't give a fuck,
yeah,
not care about what people think, because it's your body at the end of the day.
and that's your artistic,
Yeah,
that's your
expression.
expression. Yeah. So walk us through some of your tattoos. Like what's some of the tattoos that you got, and what do they mean to you?
Um, so most of my stuff is like um, Africa oriented, like somehow. So I got like Egyptian hieroglyphics and like I got some Kiswahili tattooed on me, stuff like that, Nefertiti. So it's mostly African oriented. I kind of like their art the most, you know. So
Yeah. What's that? So what is that? What does it do for you? Like, does it speak to you, like the artistic stuff? Cause I know, obviously, like for me, I've seen you a couple times. I know you got the African pieces on your face. You
Right.
feel me? Like, you obviously everybody knows that somewhere along the line we probably all from Africa. We all somewhere from down there. So what is it? What was the meaning behind that when you got it? Like you just love the way the art and everything that was associated with it.
Um, Basically, like the meaning behind it, the meaning behind some of the stuff that I got, like the ankh is like the key of life. It's the male and the female, and like I cherish that above like a lot. So you know what I mean. I I kind of like related to that and got that because they cherished that, you know, and it
Mm-hmm.
was so long ago. So you know what I mean, like I hold that respect for them because they like you know what I
They
mean.
paved the way for us.
Yeah they kind of like made the
Yeah,
way for us.
and a lot of their beliefs are spoken on today. Like you said, the ankh, like the male and female, the way of life. A lot of that stuff is associated in life nowadays. Like you can see it now, even within like modern religions and stuff. There's still like old beliefs and old testaments that we can revolve our life around and stuff like that. So what is it like? What's business like now? Like as an entrepreneur, because you're your own boss in your sense. So how do you balance like a work life relationship to where you still feel like you're bringing in a successful amount of money, but you also can
Having
have
time for
have a
myself.
have a social life? Yeah.
Um, I I I honestly don't like really have like a method to it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like by like the wind, like how the wind blows. Like that's what I pretty much do. I mean, if somebody calls me to get tatted, especially my closer friends, I'm probably gonna come outside. You know what
Yeah,
I
you
mean?
probably
So
gonna do the tat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, I don't really have a like a set in stone. You know what I mean? Motion to this or
Yeah, method
anything.
or anything.
Yeah. So I mean, there's not really a balance to my life or work. You know, it's kind of all goes together. Especially because like I feel like my life is my work. You know.
Yeah. This is the way you speak. Like, and in essence, like everybody you tattoos kind of like a canvas. Like when
Nah,
they
that's a
walk down the
fact.
street and they see my leg tattoos, they're like, oh, who did it? You feel me? So like, you kind of take pride in your work. You take
Right.
pride in what you do, cause every day someone's gonna see it. So I mean, that's fire though. That's the one thing about being a tattoo artist though, cause you really express yourself through your works, through your art. Even if it's not on someone, if you like get some fake skin or whatever,
Nah, right.
like do that. Or even if you just you mean like you tagging something, you doing some graffiti or something like that. That's still like expressing yourself and expressing your work and stuff like that. So that's fire though, bro. That's definitely tough. So what is it like? What's it like being in a shop? What's the life like that? Working with someone in close quarters.
Um.
Do you guys ever interact? Like, is there ever like a point in time where you guys are in here together? Cause I know
Um.
that's a lot of thing. Like
For
a lot of tattoo artists, they complain about that. They're like, yo, bro, I like being by myself, like in my own space.
I definitely like being in my own space, but I don't mind being with other artists because you get to like bounce ideas off of each other, shit like that. Talk about art.
Hmm.
If someone like-minded, so you get to talk about certain things that you wouldn't normally talk about with people, like needle sizes and stuff like that, like little dumb stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, the little
I
ins and outs.
yeah, like of tattooing. So I feel like it is like a great time working with people, close quarters or whatever, but it's also great working by yourself. It's like this like kind of like happy medium thing you gotta do with it. Where you know what I mean, like if you're one of those people that like working by themselves mostly, you should probably you know what I mean be by yourself.
Yeah, you gotta figure out what type of person you are.
Right.
That's what any work environment though, cause you could work in like a school and you could be like, yo, I'm better as a solo person. Well, maybe working in a school probably not
for
what's
you.
best for you. Cause
Right.
you feel me. So that's, I mean, finding that balance is definitely important too, along with like finding a happy medium in what you do, like, cause this is your passion. So it's like whenever you in here, it probably don't even feel like work for
Working,
real.
yeah.
You feel like you just doing what you love to do.
Right. Nah, that's a fact.
Yeah,
It's
now
definitely like that.
that's fire. Is there any, so besides to get off of tattooing, do you have any like outstanding values that you have in life that you want to express about, like, like that you feel like other people related to you, that probably are relatable to other people?
Um,
Like, what are your moral code? Because everybody has like a moral code. Like, what would you say your moral code is that you live by on a day-to-day basis?
I don't know about that. Moral code, I don't know, like just to not be a shit person, you know?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
f-
really have a, you know what I mean? It's, everything is not for everybody, and then to each his own as well, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
for me, it's like I kind of like mind my business and like try to be a good person type shit.
Just try to be a good person along the way, so
Right,
that people understand that there's not just shitty people in the world.
right.
I feel like this world got a lot of shitty people.
Nah, I definitely do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a moral code right there, bro. Just don't be a
Shit,
shitbag.
yeah, real shit.
Yeah, as long as you at least a half decent person, half decent human being, you feel me? Like a lot of things benefit you in life. Like a lot of things really probably benefited you in life just from you
Being a good
racking up
person.
good karma. Yeah,
Right.
like, and that's another thing too that people don't understand. Don't do things out the kindness of your heart, expecting something in return. Just do it
Nah,
cause you want to be a better person.
exactly.
That's a powerful thing. But I know you also big into like, like black activists and black,
Not for
like
sure.
black power, black, just being black, being proud of who you are. So what
No.
is it like? What's something that you learned from like, like watching the lessons of like, Malcolm Martin, all them the greats that really paved the way for us to be in the world that we are in nowadays.
Um, just to like stand up for yourself, you know, like not be oppressed, you know, uh, not allow yourself to be oppressed, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much what I like fell in love with the whole black movement thing,
Yeah,
you know, like just not letting people do
bully
whatever.
you.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you know,
just
get
being
over
a
on you.
being an independent person too.
Right.
Like, I think that's another thing that's lost in the world is, fight for what you believe in.
Right. Nah, it's
Like,
definitely lost, bro.
yeah, don't just succumb to something just because you feel like that's what's right. Cause that's, I mean, we live in a world where it's like a cancel culture. So
Nah, for facts.
if you don't accept the norm, it's kind of like a thing where like you might get shunned. But these people are greats because they didn't accept the norm. That they understood
Exactly.
that, like, taking that risk is what's worth it. And even in your own way, you kind of like, cause like the big misconception with the world is that like everybody has to look super professional, and if you don't, like, you look like a fucking thug
Right.
like a nigga that's gonna be in and out of jail and shit.
Right.
And you ain't accept that. Like, you kind of, got the face tats, you got the dreads, but that's your art. That's your body. That's how you express
Me
yourself.
conveying, yeah, my expression, yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely. I mean, you, in a way, like, people look at you as like an activist, cause it's like the people that really just be like, nigga, I don't give a fuck what nobody gotta say. So you just
Nah.
you just standing on that.
Yeah, I feel like that's my part. Like that's what I'm playing my part, my
Yeah.
role in being that activist because I'm not applying myself to like social norms and shit like that.
Yeah.
Just because it's like not it's not normal to me, honestly, like that. Everybody we live in a like a bot culture, like everybody's following each other and I mean doing things that don't make sense for real.
Yeah, just cause they don't. A lot of people are afraid to get canceled. Like, everybody's afraid to not be themselves, and
That's a
that's
fact.
that's a that's a failure of society. Cause if we all the same, nigga, it's not. It's
Shouldn't
kind
really
of
matter.
boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we all the same person, it's kind of boring.
Nah, yeah, you don't really get to experience life how it should be if you know
Yeah,
what I mean
that's a
everybody's doing
fact.
the same shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even us, like, you feel me? Like, we're two different people, but that's what helps build a relationship because then it's like they're two different people but they probably have some similarities
Right.
or they can grasp off of the differences and become better people off of that.
Not for facts.
Nah, yeah, that's definitely tough though. So what's some of the skills for the people out there that are watching and they're like, yeah, I want to be a tattoo artist. What's some of the skills you feel like people need to be a
Um,
tattoo artist or even be their own boss and be a founder of their own business?
um, well, to be a tattoo artist specifically, I would definitely tell you would have to know how to draw. That's
Mm,
kind of like important with this. Um, with being a business uh, person, period, like an entrepreneur, I would feel like you would need to like have that you gotta have that dog in you. Like
yeah.
you gotta and at some points you gotta dig deep and you may not be like, like making the best type of money or whatever the case may be. But I mean just push through it, just stick with it and I mean it might be something one day, you never know.
Or you gotta love what you do too.
Nah, that's a fact.
Cause I know like I love what I do. Like I love hearing people's story and I love really learning lessons from people. Cause there's a lot of stuff that you gain from everybody that you might not have known. Even the people that I'm close with, like there might be a lot of stuff that I gain knowledgeable information from them and shit. So
Right.
that's definitely like another part of being an entrepreneur. You don't just do shit because it's a lot of money. Like I know a lot of people that go into like real estate because it's a lot of money, but they don't even like that shit. They don't like talking to people.
Nah, that's a fact.
That's 90% of your job is talking
Right.
to people.
Talking to
For me,
people, trying to sell them something.
yeah, you gotta be good at talking to someone to
Nah,
sell them
right.
something. You gotta be better than most. And that's another thing too, though. Like I seen, being at your old spot, you had a lot of books. You're an avid reader and shit. So like, I feel like that's another thing that's probably important too. Like, open up a book every once in a while.
Nah, yeah, being well versed, not
Hmm.
being, I mean, the smartest person in the room, but not the dumbest.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what more or less that's about.
yeah. So what's some of the books that you read that
Um,
probably helped you along the way too?
the spook who sat by the door,
Uh,
behold the pale horse, shit like that. I
what are they
mean,
about? What's that? I ain't never heard of them.
um, the spook who sat by the door is about a guy that basically was training by the FBI or CIA or something, the CIA, and he basically he was a black guy, and he basically went back to the hood and taught those people in the hood how to be like agents. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like a period of time of like revolution type things, and I'm kind of like into that, like the black activist type stuff. So that's like right down my alley.
So who's some of the activists that you look up to and because I know we talked about some of them earlier, but is there any specific ones that you're like,
Um,
you hear them speak and you really like can feel
a
the
lock
power in the
in, yeah.
message?
Probably like Huey P. Newton.
Hmm.
Uh, there's this guy that makes clothes. You probably know his clothes, the Denim Tears.
Yeah.
He's a, I mean, like really good speaker when it comes to like activist type things.
Hmm.
He had actually quit Supreme because of like stuff like that, like kind of like real racial stuff going
Black
on.
injustice and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. So like yeah, like people like that for real, for real.
What's
I'm,
something that you gained from like a huge peace speech? Like, is there anything that you remember like a real big message that you was like, damn, like this is still relevant to this day?
um with Huey,
Yeah.
probably just probably just. You know what I mean, like him. I don't even want to say that, bro. But him killing the cop and like being like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, cool, calm, and collected about it. I mean, like,
Yeah. I know like for me it's like it's like I was really big into Malcolm X and like Martin Luther King. Like those are my two biggest people because they were so. I feel like they were so much alike, but so different in their tactics. You know,
Nah, that's a
like
fact.
Malcolm was a lot more affirmative and really standing on business. Like he said, like by any means possible, we gonna make this happen. Whereas Martin was a lot more pacifist and like
He was more
being
about talking.
yeah being more talking, which I feel like you know like in the world there's two types of people and they're both well needed. Like you need someone that's you know like talkative and able to keep the situation calm and collected and see both sides, but you also need someone that understands that sometimes brute force is the best means to an end.
Necessary, yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that people fail to realize is that sometimes you need to do that. Like sometimes brute force is what's needed. Like when we look at like even military powers, like a lot of time like a negotiation may go wrong where you got to send out the brute force.
Nah, that's a fact.
So that's definitely
Nah, this country was built on war and you know what I mean,
yeah
like
and bloodshed.
yeah, fighting and shit. So
Yeah, I mean we think about it like America is one of the younger countries in the world. Like we're not as old as the other countries, but we also have been through a lot of major wars, and that people fail to realize that, you know, like that helped build us. Like when we look at the Revolution, when we fought the British, without that we wouldn't be America, or even like the Civil War, you know,
right,
stuff like that. Those things help create a nation. They help. So sometimes, like I said, brute force is needed.
necessary.
That's the means to an end. That's what we need to do to make things possible.
Nah, that's a fact. I feel as though it's definitely a necessary thing in most cases.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fire, bro. But I appreciate you for real. Like I appreciate you being here. Obviously you tagged me, you mean like y'all gonna see the end of the finished product when we done, but you know, like even you being on this podcast and being able to share your story and being able to, you know, chop it up for a little bit, that's something that, you know, the viewers need to see. Cause
Nah, that's a fact.
you give them a perspective that not a lot of people can because you know like, it's easy to have a bunch of like billionaires and well it's easy to have a lot of business owners on a podcast and them talk about like corporate America, but you really like you're more relatable than them than those people because you
Right,
understand what it's like growing up in the inner city and you understand what it's like growing up, you know,
right.
and being an adult with like face tests and everything and the looks that you get even without the face test you probably still get some.
New looks, yeah.
Yeah, like before you when was your first face test?
The little crack on my head.
Yeah.
So it was already. I was 16, so it was already looks. You
Oh
know what I mean?
yeah. So they was already looking at you kind of
Kind
funny.
of funny, right?
Yeah. Nah, yeah, that's a fact
I
though.
already had locks, so it's just like you know what I mean.
It was already a stereotype established with you.
Yeah, at 16.
Nah, yeah, it was already something that you just had to overcome. Damn. Nah, but I appreciate you though, bro. I appreciate you for being on here for real. Like,
I appreciate being on it.
nah, yeah, we definitely gotta set up something else a later date. You know, when I'm not laying in a chair getting tatted. So we gonna definitely show the finished product. Like I said, if you want to get tatted, you know where to find him. It's Chapo Tats on the gram. You know, I don't know if you accepting any new clientele right now
I am,
or
I
what it's
am.
looking like. Yeah, so
Tell you
if y'all
shit.
looking to get tatted,
Hit me.
he definitely take care of you. So we'll be back next week with another video. So make sure you sub up and you go follow us on Instagram. You already know where the YouTube button's at, and you know where to find us on the gram. We'll have a link down below, and we'll be back. All right.
Can you steal